Buju, wago shindagu migizi indodem, gazaga squaji mekag, indun jiba. In Ojibwe, we have a reference that is both metaphorical and actual to the four winds. Often in many native cultures, not just in Ojibwe culture, four is considered an especially sacred number. 4 layers of earth, 4 layers of sky, 4 directions, 4 winds. And these correlate with the 4 cardinal points on the compass and also correlate to 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter. So both when we do prayers and even when we think about and explain about indigenous concepts in the Ojibwe language or broadly within Ojibwe culture, we'll often talk about it that way. We might pray there's a spirit in each of those 4 winds: east, south, west, north. They correlate with 4 different seasons in the calendar and 4 different seasons in people's life. So, the spirit in the wind in the east represents new life, symbolically represented by spring, which is when our seasons begin in the Ojibwe calendar, and also with babies, new life coming into the world. And so you can think about spring as, beginnings, verdant growth, and so forth. And so when we're praying, especially if we're praying for like a little baby, we may pay special attention to or make mention of that. South correlates with summer and correlates also with young people. So that's both boys and girls kind of coming of age, growing up, things like that. And the spirit in the wind to the west represents adults, mature humans who can, have families, work, represent the community, and so forth. And then the spirit in the wind to the north represents elders. Ideally, someone will get to see all 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter, and will get to be blessed by the spirits from each of those 4 different winds. So when we pray for someone, we'll often pray that they get to see all of their seasons. We pray that they will be blessed by each of the 4 winds. We understand too that there are 4 seasons, not just in the calendar and not just in somebody's life here on earth, but in all of the things that we do. There are even 4 seasons in a marriage. Sometimes people get tripped up because they think, love should always be spring when everything's new and exciting and romantic and so forth. And then they realize that summer burns long and hot and people are stressed out about money and jobs and values and parenting and things like that. And so we are reminded to think of this in a cyclical way, that ultimately, if you can, survive the tests of summer, that there is autumn and a spirit there to bless you as well with a harvest when things are, red and gold and so forth, and hopefully a nice long winter too. You'll notice that this isn't a linear progression through stages or phases. It's a cyclical thing. So even when we begin our lives as little babies, we are highly dependent on our parents or caretakers to, provide all of our food, clothing, shelter, look out for us. And as we kind of go through the cycle, by the time we become elders, if we get to have a very nice long life and a long elderhood, then we actually come back to where we began, where we may need to depend on others to provide more of our food and help us with different things. And so as we remember this, we remember to be humble, that we are vulnerable, that there's a beauty in each of the seasons in a person's life, in each of the seasons in a person's career or marriage, the relationships we have, in terms of friendships or even the relationships with our children, and that we need to be understanding and patient about that, but also aware of our vulnerability and our interconnectedness. Miigwech. Thanks for watching today. I'm Anton Treuer. Let's keep in touch. I'm active on social media, and my website has lots of information on my books, speaking engagements, resources for the Ojibwe language, teachers, and more. Miigwech.